A very good evening to you. Tonight, rather, we bring you yet another interesting episode of Z Corner, and we have about four items to discuss tonight. And the first one is the KCM liquidation updates. Are you satisfied with how KCM liquidation is being handled? The second one is the famous Forest 27. Uh, has Garry Nkombo failed to deliver his promise concerning Forest 27? The third one is Reverend Moses says there's nothing wrong with polygamy. What is your reaction? Okay, that seems to be an interesting one. There's nothing wrong with polygamy. What's your reaction? And then, of course, you are free to bring any topics that you want to discuss. We can have a look at them tonight. Uh, I've shared the link in the chat. You can always join me whenever you're free, and then we can discuss these issues. So again, it's for me though. Regarding the Forest 27, it's something that was it was a very hot topic, and for Mr. Garry Nkombo to go quiet on this one without any feedback. I don't really know what's happening. I feel that there, there are a number of people that have pretty much built houses in that forest, and I think pretty much I think he bit more than he could chew because he's supposed to provide feedback anyways, and yeah, and then another interesting issue is the polygamy issue. What do you think about polygamy? Is it okay? Is it bad? And here's my take on polygamy though. It's for Christians, you know, you get the Bible involved, and then it becomes a very contentious issue. But look at how many people are, you know, having affairs here and there, and that doesn't that pretty much amount to the same thing. And the more interesting issue is you find that we believed in a polygamy, right, from that time immemorial, and there was nothing wrong with polygamy, and everyone was happy. And then the white man came with the Bible and said, "Look, you 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 gotta stop this. You know, this is not right. It's against biblical principles." Well, which is true. It's against biblical principles, right? And when you look at the European, and then they just go back and say, okay, you're okay to marry your, you can, a man can marry a man, a woman can marry a woman. Now, what's really happening to our African culture? Are we going to lose it? Is there a time when we're going to say, let's stick to, uh, uh, let's say, our bringing? Because I think our culture is really facing a very difficult uh, time frame or phase because there's nothing that we really believe in, and there's nothing that we can say. Let's stick to this. This is what defines us as a people. So and then the most important aspect is to find let's say you look at your culture and you say, okay, these are the best practices. And then you look at the Western culture and say, okay, these are the best practices. Let's just get the best practice from both and then come up with one better, I would say, modified culture, for lack of a better term. But it's again, it's been it, it, it's really a difficult one. But for one funny thing that I don't know. maybe I should find time to interview the Reverend and ask why he says there's nothing wrong with polygamy. And of course, when you look at the Bible, there's certain cases, there's stories in the Bible where uh, polygamy was uh, you know characters in the Bible who had more than one wife. And how are the Muslims managing it, anyways? And maybe the question I should ask is it enough for a man to have one wife or one partner? I need answers. I- Is it okay for a man to have one partner or one wife or one husband? Okay. So again, I'll just I'll put the link in the I, I'll put the link in the comment section. Let me just press that there. So I have okay. So there is okay. Let me just add. Hello, Momubiana. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
I believe you're in the States, right? How are you doing?
No, no, I'm in South Africa.
Oh, how is South Africa this evening?
Well, it's not too bad on my side of the world. It's yeah, it's peaceful. Yeah, but I believe there's some protests going on um in other parts of Johannesburg, but it's fairly quiet where I am.
Y-
Yeah.
yeah, do you know what us humans are pretty much let me just say that we kind of like misinterpret peace. Peace is priceless, and once you have peace, you pretty much enjoy everything else around you. So without peace, you can't put a price to it.
No, absolutely not.
So I have a few questions for you. Or rather, I have three topics to discuss this evening. Which one would you like to pick on?
I think I would like to tackle the polygamy one,
Okay, yes.
most interesting one.
Okay,
Uh, I for me, I don't see anything wrong with polygamy. I think people should be given a choice. Um, and I believe someone would go into polygamy knowing exactly what they're going into. So I guess the parties to the polygamous marriage would know exactly what's going on and what's required, traditions, cultures, and norms, and all of that. But I would like to come in terms of the financial aspect of it
okay.
because at the moment, I don't really know how protected the lesser sort of like sex the women are in marriages as it stands now. So, what would happen in a polygamous marriage? Will
Mhm.
everyone have sort of like an equal footing, or would it still be the man who gets to have the say and power? How protected are partners in polygamous marriages? For me,
Now,
that
now,
that would be my only concern.
now, here's the question though. Uh, the Muslims say you can marry as many wives as you can, as long as you treat them equally, right? So, is there such a thing as treating everyone equal? Can a man manage to treat everyone equally? What I mean by equal is that it's not just material things, right? It has to be emotions as well. You can buy, if you're buying chitenges, you can buy four chitenges for the four wives, but there's that emotional attachment, right? It won't be, for me. I believe it won't be the same. I don't know what's your take on that one.
I also agree. I feel as though it's like marginal utility. You know,
Mhm.
the first one probably gets less and less and less and less attention. It's just like having a last born in the family. The last one is always kind of like the favorite. So I think to a large extent, first wives probably don't get that much attention. And that's where it comes back to, I think, the choice of the women to want to actually be in a polygamous marriage or not, looking at those factors. And I think you do have a choice as well to leave, if you don't like the circumstances. So I think that's the beauty of it all. To
No,
say, you
no,
know what,
yeah.
it's not
Here's
like
the
you
thing.
stay. You know what I mean?
Okay, now here's what would be your core values before getting a polygamous relationship? What standard? What things would you like to set up and say, okay, uh, these are the things that I would like to see if I'm getting into it.
Okay, personally, I don't know if a polygamous marriage is for me. But I think definitely if a person was to go into one, just to make sure that your interests are well looked out for in terms of your emotional well being, your financial well being, and all of that, your mental state, of which I don't know how that can be managed. Well, I think you probably have to manage those things by yourself. But I think you must be able to sort of like accept what it actually means to be in a polygamous marriage. It's unfortunate because women are the ones who I think the law is currently favoring men. I don't think polyandry is currently on the table, but I think, hey, maybe going forward we could see that. But I think for now, I think men have the power, sort of like to set the tone, and then women just have to buy in or not.
Okay, I have an interesting comment from Carl Bantu. Uh, he or she says polygamy should go both ways. If a woman wants to marry 3 or 4 men for a husband, sorry, polygamy should go both ways. If a woman wants to marry 3 or 4 men for a husband, so great. Same goes for men. So how would a woman manage to, I'm kind of like looking at, I'm visualizing a woman who's married to like 4 men. How would she? I don't know. I think it's tough for women to to
Because
venture into that.
I think it's a new thing. I think would literally need to sort of like shadow other cultures and how it's worked for them and see how it can possibly work for us going forward, because it looks like it is something that is coming into effect, you know. So I think just jumping into it and then making hybrid versions of it might not necessarily work. I know in countries where it does happen, there's many rules and customs that have to be followed. And in most cases, the man is usually financially endowed. You know, he can look after multiple families. So if the woman is a multi-billionaire, you know, why not? But I guess that's just obviously at the moment, yeah, it's not possible. But yeah, I think it's something that can be looked at. I mean, we're moving forward into a world where women want equal rights. So maybe it's something that should be put on the table as well.
Well, one of the problems that I have with our African culture is that I think we've let it go so loosely, and we've rushed to pretty much embrace the Western culture and set it as a standard for the basis of judgment, right? So, for example, you know, uh, in the Western world, polygamy is not allowed, right?
No, I beg
And
to differ. I don't know if
no,
you've come.
it's not allowed. There are people that, and then most of the men here are not getting married. You know why? Because they want to have multiple partners. And right here in Canada, what's happening right now is they have these parties where they'll say you go with your wife and someone comes with their wife and then we can swap partners.
Yes, that one.
You see that, and then this is what I'm saying my reasoning is, why have we changed our ways and embraced ways that are not that keep on fluctuating? Because there's no standard, right? What's acceptable today won't be acceptable tomorrow. So
Uh,
that's the issue that I have. You know.
okay, so according to you, was polygamy something that we practiced in the past
No,
or not?
no.
Oh,
But again, there are certain instances that force men to have that.
okay.
And the major one is childlessness. Let's say if you're not able to have kids, and then you say, you know what, I don't want to leave you, but hey, why can't I try? Let's bring in somebody else. But one funny thing about our culture as well is that uh, most of the lack of a child is usually pushed towards the wife, not the husband. And
Yes.
yeah, these are the things that we have to kind of like look at and try to resolve. But for a woman having four men,
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
a
at the end of the day, you can look at it as a lot of people sort of, well, not a lot of people, but some people do have multiple partners. So now they're just trying to legalize this whole scenario. Um, I wouldn't want to be judgmental, but I would think there are women who do date, with multiple partners. But we
yes.
all know that society doesn't look at women in a good light when that actually does happen. But, it's okay for men to do that. But if we can legalize it, you know, um, I guess it will soothe the blow, kind of, I feel. But for me, honestly speaking, my own personal opinion, I don't see how this new law is actually going to help Zambian people. I feel like we have huge problems and that need to be solved. I don't see how in the world, this law would actually help Zambians move forward. I just see it as a way for people to satisfy their own personal desires, to say. Well, that is my opinion. Um, so, this being a topic is quite interesting, but for me, I think it's rather unfortunate because in this day and age, honestly speaking, there are people who are trying to sort of like move away from that type of thing, and to see it now coming into the Zambian space, coming from 1964 is like, wow, it's it's something to think about.
Okay. Thank you very much. And before you tonight we're discussing three things. There's the first one is the KCM liquidation. Are you satisfied with the way it's being handled? The second one is Garry Nkombo. Um, this is regarding the famous Forest 27. Uh, we haven't heard any feedback from him. Has been swept under the carpet, And then the third one is about Reverend Moses saying that there's nothing wrong with polygamy. So
Okay.
you say that there's nothing wrong with it, right? I feel there's nothing wrong with it as well, but the only issue is how how a man would be there emotionally for you know all the three four wives that he has, because let's say if they need you at the same time, what do you do? you know and
Yeah.
yeah. So what's your take regarding the Forest 27 though?
Okay, so unfortunately, I'm not privy to the latest, but
Well,
I'm holding on to see what's actually going to happen. I mean, I think it's a whole lot of drama. I mean, to get to see houses demolished and all of that. I think a lot of people are waiting for that to happen. I just hope there would be sort of like legal um, reasons to basically justify that happening, and then it can take place. So I think we should just let the law take its course and let the authorities do what they need to do.
in my case, though, I have so much respect for the president, and I think we have a sober man in that office. In the same vein, I think the UPND overpromised. They even touched areas that for lack of a better term, they're not privy to. You know what I mean? And people are expecting results, right? And you're looking at a myriad results from everyone. You know, your expectations are different from mine, and it's different with the other. But I think for them, the most important aspect is for them to kind of like look at the core values, you know, and come back to the people and say, look, we promised this, but we can't achieve what we promised because of ABC, you know. Uh, Instead of just keeping mute and then let people judge, I think that that's not the right way of doing things. I have Mr. Kenneth Hijiva, Hijaba. Is that Tonga, Mr. Kenneth?
Hichaba, yes. Yes,
Gamwamba
I'm with
basa.
Tonga, sir.
Gamwamba basa.
Gabo to Gamamba.
Gabo
Gabo to Mari Yabuti.
Gabo kwasi ya butogo.
Muri.
Mbonyo wotra tonga tonga.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on this live video, on this
Yes,
live
so,
station. This is the first time I'm entering this station. I
thank you
always
for joining
follow
us.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so tonight we have three topics that we're looking at. We have the KCM liquidation updates. Are you satisfied with how things are going? The second one is has Garry Nkombo failed to deliver his promise concerning Forest 27? And then the third one is Reverend Moses says there's nothing wrong with polygamy. Which one would you like to handle?
Okay, I think let me take for the Honorable Garry Nkombo.
Yes.
As for me, the way Mr. Garry Nkombo was promising us during his campaign promises, I was hoping that he is going to deliver our promises, but as for now, he has failed in Forest 27, totally failed. And I'm disappointed on that, very disappointed. And he's quiet. Nothing is happening. No one knows everything, what is happening there.
Well, again, the issue that I have is when he first started, he was pretty much gung ho. He was so forceful on it. Now, is it that maybe the modus operandi or the channels of communications have changed? Everything has to go through the president, and can the president manage to, you know, provide all that, process all that information, and then give feedback at a reasonable time?
Because the problem is that we don't know anything what is happening since he was talking about to know I'll do this on Forest 27. Since that time he was talking like that. Until now we don't know anything what is happening. He don't give any update. So it's just quiet like that.
Would I be right to say that this guy is overpromised?
As for me, he has failed. That's what I can say. He has failed. And as for me, I'm very disappointed with that. I didn't expect him to work like the way the things he is working now. We expected him to do better than this.
Any changes in his constituency? Is there any things that he's brought about? Because right now he's in the government, right? So, are there any good developments that are happening?
Yeah, some I see some like in local government, like council workers here being paid. Some we are staying with them here where I stay. I stay in Matero. There were almost 6 months. No getting salaries, but for now they have been paid full salaries. In other departments he has worked, but on that like Forest 27 on that one, for now I can't say anything because I see that he has failed for that issue. But other issues, he's working very well.
Okay, so the other, let's go to the next issue now. Reverend Moses says that there's nothing wrong with polygamy. What's your take on that?
As for that, me, I can't comment anything for that one.
Okay, right, I understand. Okay,
But
so coming to yes.
sorry for disturbing you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a issue. I think next time try to bring a issue of for the Minister of Labor.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's why I said sorry for disturbing
No,
you.
no, no, no. You can bring up and you can discuss whatever you want to. You can bring it up. There's no problem.
We have an issue whereby where I'm working,
Mm-hmm.
there is a certain Chinese. This Chinese, when she came, she promised us to do everything to follow the labor law. But as for now, as it is now, do you know what happened yesterday? We were being deducted the salaries for February. She said that that's because the month for February was has got 28 days.
Mm-hmm.
So she counted 28 days and deducting 200 kwacha each person to say that you didn't work for 30 days. And
But
this Chinese,
are you salaried or you are paid on an hourly basis? Because if you are paid on an hourly basis, then
we
what's
are
the
on
agreement?
fixed. We are on fixed. We
Hmm.
are on fixed.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's very sad.
You see,
I would
we
share.
are on a situation whereby workers are being scared to be fired. Even here where I am, someone if he see me that this guy is talking public, but me, I don't care. Even if he fire me, I don't care because I know what to do. I can do something else. Now, what is happening? When he came, this lady when she came, she said that the company was under Lebanese, and the Lebanese until now we are still pushing the money there in the labor law, in labor that side. That side the system was very slow. It is now taking us almost 6 months. Nothing is happening.
Uh,
Some are getting, some are not getting. But this Chinese, when she came, she said that after 3 months, I'll sign you a contract form. And then what she did, during when we were in Lebanese, we were getting better salaries. And when she came, she deducted our salaries from, if you were getting 4,000, she bring your salary at 2,500 kwacha. And it's a mining company, it's a quarry company. If anyone who is hearing this issue now, what I'm saying, they have to follow up in Zamastone, in Lusaka West, Zamastone quarries, to go and check what is happening there. A general worker is getting 1,500 kwacha. It's a mining company. Me, I'm
now,
a front and
now,
loader operator.
now, did you sign any contracts before commencing work?
She promised us that we are going to sign the contract after 3 months. From when she took over in September until we were expecting to sign the contract in January, but she did not sign us anything until now. As things it is now, we are not getting any milk. But in Lebanese people, they were giving us milk. There's dust there for the healthy. A lot of things are happening that side. That Chinese is even saying that I don't care. You can go where you want. For me, I don't care. Huh? We were telling him the other day that tomorrow is a Women's Day. Can you give us our salaries? He told us, you are a man, you are not a woman. How can you say that you want to go to Women's Day? You have to come to work as normal, not double ticket, as normal. You see?
No.
That's why I'm saying that one day we try to bring the issues of on the labor, but which is affecting us workers. People are suffering there.
All
Or
right.
we are suffering.
Did you try to go to the labor office though?
That's why what it is, what I'm telling you is that people, they don't have any hope with that labor. There is already an issue there whereby we are fighting with the Lebanese. But those people who are in labor office, they are not doing anything correctly according to their promises. They keep adjourning people. No, come 30, no, we will call you to come and collect your money. But nothing is happening yet until 6 months from now. People are
Okay.
suffering.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. As you are aware, I'm just filling in for Narola. I'll definitely forward your consent to him, and then he'll try to seek a response for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. But
Yeah.
I'll be coming live for this page. This is the first time I'm coming live on this page.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Hello, Viana. Hello.
Yes, I'm still here. Sorry.
Yes. Sorry, I had to accommodate my participant, and yes. So any more issues on the polygamy side?
No, not really. I just feel I'm sorry to say I think we're wasting time. I mean,
Mhm.
as a country.
Yeah.
But anyway, if the lawmakers feel as though it's something that's important, I guess, that the lawmakers at this stage, um, uh, being part of the youth, I would really like to see them coming up with policies that are pro youth, pro women, pro unemployed people. Those things I think are things that they should be looking at, progressive things.
Hmm.
This new law or policy, whatever it is, honestly speaking, is not going to change the price of bread.
No,
In
no, no,
fact,
no.
I think it's just definitely going to bring more issues. If I could just say that, I think definitely there's going to be more issues going forward. Because I mean, can you just imagine what's going to happen? I mean, I think a lot of people who are going to be affected are people who are currently married and their spouses want to take on another spouse. I mean, how would you feel? Um, okay, not you per se, because you would obviously be in a favorable position. But if I was sort of like a first wife and
Yeah,
my partner decided to bring on somebody else, first of all, I think it would definitely affect the family financially. It would
yeah,
mean more
yes, it
children.
does. Yes, it
Yeah,
does. Oh,
more
well,
children,
and
less children.
well, and here's the thing: we have so many, the cases of street kids, and I think that will just pretty much overwhelm the government as well, and overwhelm our cities. As I said, there's other better things that the government should can focus on other than these issues, and as I said, up to now, the teachers are not employed, and why can't we
Exactly.
channel that energy towards productive things, and that's not happening, and
It's
my
yes,
fear is that we are living in a time where there's people are very impatient because they've been lied to, and if answers are not being provided, then they'll begin to question the government, and when that is done, and then more people will be dissatisfied, you know what I mean. But there's for me though, the major issue that I see with the government is the lack of communication, and regardless of whatever happens, they should say, we promise this, we are not able to attend it because of ABCD. We'll come back, and for example, our president has been you know he went abroad to look for investors. We haven't, like, there's no feedback what's happening, what results that has yielded, and people need feedback, so that next time he goes out, people will know that, oh, he went there but he never got any results. Maybe let's give him another chance to go out. But if he doesn't provide that, that feedback, people will just say, oh, this guy is just global trotting, and he's the CEO of a country, but he has to do that. So again, it's a matter of feedback, and setting up priorities. If the priorities are not right and the feedback is not provided, people begin to question. And believe me, I have so much respect for him, and I think he's one of the sober characters we've had in a long time. But again, he has to set targets that are smart, targets that are systematic, targets that are measurable, targets that are achievable, targets that are realistic and within the time frame. So the time frame aspect is the one that is missing a lot, some of the things are not realistic, you know. So that's the only problem I have with the government. So I don't know. I can keep on ranting and
Yes.
ranting, but it's at the end of the day, it's their call. They know the reason why they're in government, and it's them to make changes, right? So I have a few comments here. Let me just choose which ones. Okay, so there's this one here, which says it's from Kawabantu. I can't believe that, but I think the government over there thought their people would want in too. So would you just make a decision? Again, it's research, right? What propelled that decision? And I can basically ask a whole bunch of questions. I don't really know what's happening, but it is what it is. Let me just go to the next one. Okay, there's this one. This is again, it's on polygamy. The white man discouraged polygamy because they knew the Africans would increase rapidly, and they will become powerful. Oh, that's another one. Let me go to the next one. This is from Friday. I don't see anything wrong in polygamy if one is able to meet the needs of the spouses. Old Testament people wale will so many wives. Nevertheless, it depends on your rationale and point of view. Well, the question is again is are you able to treat them equally? And that's where the problem lies. If you can treat them equally, then I honestly I feel it's the emotional aspect. If the emotional aspect of it, you can't share your emotions equally. So that's why I feel the problem is. Okay, let me look at another one. Um, okay. Well, I have a comment from David Ilunga. Basically, David Ilunga wants to know what we're discussing tonight. So basically, we have three things. The first one is the KCM liquidation updates. Are you satisfied with how the liquidation process is being handled? The second one is about the Forest 27. Has Garry Nkombo failed to deliver his promise concerning that forest? And then the third one is Reverend Moses says there is nothing wrong with polygamy. So I think we've handled the polygamy aspect of it. Um, yeah, so that's basically that. So there's, as I said, for me regarding polygamy, it's uh, again it's all depends on the character, right? And then if you have to follow biblical tenets on it, it becomes very very difficult. But again, as my earlier participant said, you have to look at your finances as well. Are you able to handle multiple families? Okay, this has been a Z quarter presentation, the half-hour show. So have to rush back to work, and up until next time, have a good night.